Hello and welcome to 3Q. In this episode, I'm delighted to be again talking with Lucian Wagner of Privilege Ventures. We're going to discuss the impact of artificial intelligence on the venture capital industry. Hello, Lucian, and how are you today?
I'm doing very well. How about you, David?
Very well indeed, thank you. My first question is, can we expect artificial intelligence to support or even make investment decisions for a modern VC?
Well, I am convinced that AI investing is more art than science, especially for the early stage side. Later on in the VC investment cycle, AI can certainly support decision making. That is what analysts are now doing with their Excel spreadsheets. But on the early stage side, it's a lot more about judging teams and judging emerging market conditions. I don't see AI as being of great use there.
That's interesting. And also, I've seen, or rather the industry's seen, a lot of venture capital firms gravitating towards investments that involve artificial intelligence or machine learning. Do you think that's going to continue, or is it just a fad?
Now, I'm gonna voice what is my real personal opinion, but I think AI is vastly overhyped. Any simplistic algorithm is now called AI. And in its original meaning, AI can and will be powerful. We are talking about neural networks that are plowing through terabytes of data and drawing inferences and conclusions. In that sense, I'm willing to look at AI companies for investment, but they have to offer some true innovation.
Oh yes, that's absolutely right. And we are getting the feeling that artificial intelligence is being overhyped. But taking into account what is available today, do you think AI can be used to monitor companies within a venture capitalist portfolio, or even the market sectors in which they operate?
Well, I think that there is a real need for the right kind of AI for portfolio monitoring. Even for a smaller VC like ours, we have 25 companies in our portfolio. Imagine all the different ratios you would have to calculate and keep in mind at all times. And AI is predestined to do something like that. On the other hand, true AI would be self-learning, inferring new rules from the data it sees. And I don't think we are there yet.
See, when you're monitoring market sectors particularly, there's such a lot of data to, analyze and construct patterns in, and that may be where artificial intelligence or some sort of machine learning could be of use.
Again, I think it depends on what's inside the black box. Everyone calls it AI, and if it's pretty simplistic stuff, I'm not too optimistic about it. I think some companies are really trying to use the original meaning of the term and coming up with complex systems that can look at patterns and raise an alarm or at the very least draw some conclusions and submit those conclusions to a human. But I also think we have to be very careful about some inherent biases that might be in the data. And then suddenly you have an investment rule or a credit approval rule, as has happened in the US, that was inherently biased against certain groups of applicants, simply because of how some of the data was structured. And because no one was overlooking this actually was implemented and ended up hurting some people. So you have to be careful about what you're doing.
Lucian, thank you very much for those very interesting insights about how artificial intelligence is making an impact or not on the venture capital industry. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, David, and I'll see you soon, I hope.